Colorado State has its mind on a bowl game and its bowl game on its mind. The Rams are bowling for the 18th time in program history. CSU will meet up with Miami of Ohio in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Who am I? What's my name? I'm Jesse Kurtz here in the Mountain West Network, where this bowl blitz was the case that they gave me. For some insight on Colorado State and this bowl matchup with Miami of Ohio, we head up to Fort Collins and bring in the longtime voice of the Rams, Brian Roth. Brian, appreciate you jumping on with us. Happy holidays.
Hey, great to be here, Jesse. And I've been working on my Snoop Dogg one-liners as well. I got a list of them that I'm using for the bowl game coming up in a couple of weeks, too. So well done.
Well, we appreciate it. There's more coming your way right now. Colorado State won 8 games this season. That's the most since 2014, and they'll cap it off that success with a bowl appearance. So what sort of momentum does this create for the program going forward as they move on to next season and the next episode?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, look, Colorado State fans have been just pining and desperate for winning football here at Colorado State. And you finally get a bowl game for the first time, as you mentioned, since 17, and an 8-win season for the first time since 2014. That's a decade since Colorado State has had an 8-win season. So you kind of finally get that, and you hope that just starts turning this football program around, because I think Colorado State fans and even administrators, right, from President Amy Parsons to Athletic Director John Weber, they say, look, this is what we're putting into football. These are the resources we're providing to football. You look at the facilities that are provided for Colorado State football, the best in the Mountain West Conference. Why aren't we winning games? Why aren't we competing for conference championships and going to bowl games? Well, they were doing that here this year. They were, again, a few plays away from playing in the Mountain West Conference championship game and obviously going back to a bowl. So you certainly hope that they're going to be able to stack another winning season coming up next year, because, again, the mindset of this administration and of the fan base is there's no reason that Colorado State, with everything it has going for it, shouldn't be in the Mountain West Conference championship race every single year, or at least once out of every 2-3 years.
Well, you look at the reasons, Brian, for the improvement this season. I look right at the run game, and that was much improved in Fort Collins. The Rams averaging over 77 yards more per game than last year. When you look at the reasons for the improvement, really it's nothing but a G thing, and G standing for Gardner. Jacob Gardner, the offensive lineman, the All-American for Colorado State, who has made 57 starts in his college career. How did his leadership up front lead to a much improved offense this season, especially running the football?
Well, I mean, I think when Jay Norvell decided he wanted to change the entire complexion of this Colorado State offense, remember air raid the first 2 years that he was here, that started back in spring football of last year and permeated through the summer. And one of the big reasons is because he thought they were going to have a good offensive line led by one of the, if not the best offensive linemen in the Mountain West Conference. And of course, speaking about Jacob Gardner. And he is a kid who came over from Nevada with Coach Norvell, where he'd started every game he had played there. And Colorado State wanted to move him to center 2 years ago. But the offensive line was so bad that they had to play him at left tackle 2 years ago, because he was their best offensive lineman, and they were just trying not to get their quarterback play mill and kill. Well, last year, he moved to center for the first time. And again, he's a big guy for a center, but he's really, really smart, and obviously makes all the calls. Last year, he was really good. This year, he's been absolutely phenomenal, garnering All-American honors. So, yeah, he's a massive, massive part of what Colorado State wants to do. And a guy that is just, I mean, look, he leads by example on the field, obviously a big-time leader when it comes to that Ram locker room, and he's a guy that everybody looks up to. And so Jacob Gardner has been a massive, massive piece of why Colorado State has not only been successful overall with the 8 wins, but been successful running the football, something they weren't last year.
Finally, Brian, during his bowl game press conference, Jay Norvell gave a tip of the cap to his longtime leaders in the program, the old-timers, Captains Jack Howell, Henry Blackburn, Chase Wilsons, whose commitment to this program has been beautiful through thick and thin. In the world of a transfer portal, how proud is this program that these stalwart Rams stuck together through some tough times and finally reached a bowl game?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at Colorado State going bowling for the first time since 2017, you're happy for the fan base, right? The fan base certainly deserves this and have been, again, pining for it. But right there with the fan base. You're happy for these seniors and guys that, you mentioned, Jesse, have been here from day number one. And they've been through two different coaching regimes, right? They started with Coach Steve Adazio, and then they go to Coach Jay Norvell, and they're Colorado kids as well. I mean, Chase Wilson, Henry Blackburn, Jack Howe all played high school football for the most part in the state of Colorado. So, I mean, those guys, I mean, it's going to be a blast for them. And in particular, you look at last year, too. The Rams were a last-second walk-off field goal in the season finale at Hawaii to go bowling, and it was that close, and they weren't able to get it done. To come back this year to win 8 games for those guys and all the other guys that have been here through thick and thin, to be able to cap off their careers with a bowl game, just so happy for those guys. And I know they're going to be loving every minute of it down there in Tucson.
Yep, no question about it. Brian, appreciate the insight. Happy holidays to you and your family, and safe travels down to Tucson.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jesse.
You bet. That's Brian Roth, the voice of the Colorado State Rams. The bowl drought in Fort Collins is finally over. The Rams officially dropped it like it was hot. You can watch Colorado State and Miami of Ohio in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl, presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop, on Saturday, December 28th. Kickoff from Arizona Stadium is set for 2:30 Mountain Time and will be televised by the CW. From the Mountain West Network studio, I'm Jesse Kurtz.